When Nintendo was making bank with their Mario, Sega needed to up their game quickly to compete. Their response, thanks to the creativity of Naoto Oshima, Hirokazu Yasuhara, and Yuji Naka, was an anthropomorphic blue hedgehog named Sonic. Created in 1991, Sonic is so popular that his franchise has books, games, films, and merchandise to satisfy his fans. But did you know that Sonic has a darker side that is not meant for children? Let's explore this dark side today.
The princess is mine, until I unlock the secret of the flames of disaster.
The dumpster fire of Sonic 06. In 2006, Sega rebooted the Sonic the Hedgehog video game for the 7th generation video game consoles. The development began as early as 2005 with Sonic co-creator Yuji Naka at the helm, deriving inspiration from superhero films like Batman Begins. The pre-releases were pretty unsuccessful, but when Naka left to form his own company, the game was rushed, and it resulted in a product that was widely hated. Glitches, unbearably long load times, horrible controls, and a bad camera aside, the story of the game was also quite controversial for one ill-timed kiss. In the game, Dr. Eggman kidnaps Elise, the princess of Solana, to harness the flames of disaster inside her. With Knuckles and Tails, Sonic tries to rescue her while Shadow and Rogue accidentally unleash the evil creature Mephiles. Mephiles too wants to bond with Iblis, who was sealed inside Elise when she was a child. To unleash it, Mephiles kills Sonic and has Elise cry over him. In her grief of losing Sonic, Elise kisses him. While Sonic dying is dark in and of itself, this scene, if you think about it below the surface level, is quite disturbing. Elise is a human woman, while Sonic is a hedgehog. Along with the implied bestiality, Elise is also essentially kissing a dead body, which disgusted many gamers. Idle animation that got way too real. Idle animations are very cool as they don't necessarily add anything to the primary gameplay, nor does it matter if they're not added, but their existence goes to show the involvement makers had in the game. There have been some pretty creative idle animations in Sonic games. There's one where Sonic taps his foot impatiently, and another one where he lies down, getting tired of the player to start gaming. In Sonic CD, Sonic waits around for a few minutes, and if you still didn't play, he would declare, "I am out of here," and jump off the screen. The game would flash "Game Over" irrespective of the number of lives you had. It doesn't take a genius to realize that this is a joke in poor taste that implies suicide. Perhaps the game makers understood this too, as this idle animation was removed in many of the later remakes. Life of Tommy the Turtle. Tommy the Turtle cannot catch a break in the Archie comics version of Sonic. As a child, Sonic constantly bullied and taunted the turtle, only giving him respect after he defeated him in a race, exactly like the fable of the tortoise and the hare. After Eggman took over Mobotropolis, Tommy's hometown, everyone assumed that he was either dead or roboticized. Eggman, however, was using him as bait to lure Sonic. He was also imprisoned and experimented on as Eggman needed a guinea pig for his nanite technology. When Sonic did manage to free Tommy, Eggman's mechanical son, Adam, began controlling the nanites in Tommy's body to puppeteer him and kill Sonic. Adam is a formidable character, as neither Sonic nor his creator, Eggman, can destroy him. So Tommy takes the decision only brave martyrs can, and kills himself to stop Adam and save Sonic. Tommy's integrity and morals, and his decision to sacrifice himself for someone who's tormented him, is what makes this scene so sad and dark. The Metal Virus Arc. IDW's rendition of Sonic the Hedgehog was arguably the darkest Sonic has ever been. One of the truly sad arcs of this storyline was the Metal Virus arc, where Eggman makes the Metal Virus, which converts any and all active organic tissue into a metal-like substance. A simple touch can cause this deadly virus to spread. These liquid nanites convert all the living beings into zombots, as whoever gets afflicted becomes a zombie-like robot. While zombots spread chaos, Our heroes try to rescue civilians. After Vector abandons an infected woman for the sake of the others, Charmy protests and tries to help her but gets grabbed by the robotic zombies. If seeing this happy-go-lucky character meet this tragedy did not burn you out enough, a refugee affected by the virus infiltrates the restoration forces, claiming that he didn't want to die alone, reducing the already small number of survivors by some more. Amy's forced to drag Cream away from her mother, Vanilla, as she succumbs to the horde of zombots. Sonic too suffers, as he's condemned to run indefinitely to slow down the spread of the virus. The arc didn't even have a happy ending to salvage our broken hearts, as in a last-ditch effort, Sonic sacrificed himself in a cosmic explosion. Sonic the Piñata. On the very first page of the first issue of Archie Comics' Sonic the Hedgehog, Eggman yanks a rope tied to Sonic's throat. Sonic's tongue is out, and his eyes seem bulged, showing clear signs of asphyxiation. Eggman declares that Sonic has ruined his evil schemes for the last time and promises to have him pay the price for foiling his plans as his mechanical crab sidekick eggs him on to do it. Eggman swings the stick in his hand and Sonic bursts open with chocolates and candy. We quickly realize that it was just a piñata, but the image sets the precedent for the entire run of Sonic the Hedgehog in Archie Comics. This was not going to be the child-friendly version Sega had maintained through their games, but a much darker, much more horrific version where Eggman did not hesitate to lynch his foe. Whisper's tragic trauma. Whisper the Wolf used to be a member of the Diamond Cutters who fought against the Eggman Empire. Her fellow members were Slinger the Ocelot, Mimic the Octopus, Smithy the Lion, and Clairvoyance the Howler Monkey. Mimic, claiming to have found a way to eliminate badniks, led her team members into one of Eggman's bases. What the Diamond Cutters did not know was that Mimic was a turncoat who had betrayed her teammates and led them into a room full of angry shadow androids. Whisper survived the ordeal, but it left her traumatized. She became super shy and only communicated through whispers. She also blames herself, as people tend to do in cases like these because of survivor's guilt. In the fourth issue of Sonic the Hedgehog, Tangle and Whisper, the readers truly get to see how bad she has been suffering, as she tells Tangle the lemur that she cannot lose anyone else and hence does not want to continue on the mission together. It shows the effect of trauma and how our pasts definitely control our presents and futures. Not Romeo and Juliet, it's Sonic and Sally. The Sonic world in Archie Comics was changed by the Genesis wave, but right before that, Dr. Eggman decided to play with time and reality in order to destroy New Mobotropolis. He reset reality and an alternate universe was born, where Sonic and his friends did not remember anything. Every single relationship was lost in suppressed memories. In this storyline, Sally slowly began remembering her memories, and she recalled her true love was Sonic, despite Sonic being way too far from her to reach. Just before Sonic fixed reality, he too remembered the past he shared with Sally and sent her a message. Just before new reality faded away, Sally tells Sonic that she trusted him to save the day. When the reality is fixed, though, Sally is roboticized, and their love story ends in heartbreak. This story of star-crossed lovers is truly sad, and losing someone you love to a fate worse than death is hardly imaginable. A genocide. Dr. Robotnik is one of the most heartless and psychotic villains to be ever created. In the Archie comics, Sonic teams up with freedom fighters after Dr. Eggman establishes an authoritarian regime and they set up a base in the kingdom of Knothole. Dr. Robotnik wanted to pluck them all out by the root to make sure nobody dared question his dictatorship. So he launched an invasion of the kingdom of Knothole with his egg fleet of skyships. The whole sky was clouded by Robotnik's fleet, and he launched a full-scale bombardment that razed the kingdom of Knothole to the ground. Sonic and his friends were left dumbfounded, as they couldn't figure out what to do after seeing their friends, family, and loved ones burning to mere cinders under Eggman's ships. The tragedy didn't end there, though. The unlucky survivors of this attack were teleported into Robotnik's egg grape chamber, a multi-structured chamber that robbed its victims of their life force in order to power up Eggman's empire. He nearly kills Sonic too, but lets him go at the last minute so that he can suffer the results of his failure. This arc shows how much of a psychopath Robotnik is. Death of Maria Robotnik. Maria Robotnik, Dr. Eggman's cousin and Gerald Robotnik's granddaughter, spent most of her childhood aboard the space colony Ark space station. She was looked after by Gerald, who was trying to find a cure for her terminal disease, neuroimmunodeficiency syndrome, or NIDS. This rare disease would slowly but surely deteriorate Maria's brain and kill her. To save his granddaughter, Gerald signed on to the president's plan of creating immortality and had even found a way to do so using Black Doom. Maria's only companion aboard was her grandfather's creation, Shadow the Hedgehog. To gain control of her grandfather's creations and research, Gunn raided Ark, but Maria bravely stood by Shadow and helped him escape. Unfortunately, during this time, she was shot fatally. In her last moments, Maria pleaded with Shadow to save and protect the people of the world. Maria is written as a child who was dealt a bad hand in her life, and her end just adds on to that fact. Murder was not the only bad thing. If you've read the Archie comics Sonic the Hedgehog, you might remember all the horrible things both the protagonists and antagonists did. Neither of them shied away from murder. Eggman, the robotic copy of Dr. Robotnik, kidnapped Lady Agnes Hopkins of the House of Ivo. He initially used her as a pawn to threaten her granddaughter Hope into compliance, but even after she complies, Eggman kills Agnes in front of Hope anyway. We've already mentioned the genocide of a whole kingdom, but did you know that Sonic 2 killed Robotnik once? All in an Archie's comic. There are also people who suffered some cruel and unusual punishments in the comic that make the murders look tame. The wizard Ixis Nagus was created after spells by 4 wizards fighting for supremacy collided. This also trapped the 4 mighty wizards inside his head. Ixis was blissfully unaware of it at first, but then the wizards gained consciousness and began tormenting him from within his own mind. In another heart-wrenching scene, Mammoth Mogul captures Tails and tortures him for days on end. His friends do not realize it, as he had replaced Tails with an identical robot. Marvelous verdict. These are some of the darkest and saddest moments in the saga of Sonic the Hedgehog. Where do you think the darkest storylines came from? IBW or Archie Comics? Let us know in the comments below, and if you liked the video, tap on that thumbs up. We'll soon be back with more awesome stuff, and until then, take care.